Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 6 January 2022, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Time for the first knife sale of the year on the Apostle P channel. And that is exactly what we have. Before we get into the meat of the sale, as always, let's do a little housekeeping. First of all, if you'd like to participate tonight, you need to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I'll also reprint them in the terms or in the description underneath this video. Also in the description above the terms of the sale, you're going to see links to 3 prior videos on the channel. The first is to my Primer for Buyers video. That is a 38-minute expanded explanation of how we do things and why during this weekly sales event. Please watch it if you're new. It's kind of important. The second link is to my FAQs for Consignors video. If you're interested in using this weekly video sale to move along some of your collection, that video explains how it all works for you, the consignor. And then the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the description, you'll see those 3 links, then you'll see the terms of the sale, and then at the bottom, the list of tonight's inventory complete with timestamps and pricing. In the pricing column, the number to the left of the slash is your as shown price. Number to the right is as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. This week there will be slots for 3 next day sharpening jobs. So the first 3 knives purchased to be sharpened this week will be sharpened and shipped tomorrow, Friday the 7th, with all of the as shown inventory. If you're outside that first 3, just about 3 weeks for sharpening if you buy a knife that way. I think that's about it. Time to get the terms up on the screen for you, and then we'll be right back with the meat of the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we've got just 2 knives left over from last week. The first one is this, from Buck Knives, circa 1974 to 1980. We have a Model 110, Felding Hunter. The old school 110 with the squarish corners, the solid wood, not laminated plywood scales, and a blade of 440C. This one is fairly virginal. I don't know if it's even ever been sharpened. It's very hard to see any evidence that it has. There is 0 blade play in any direction. Action is nice and smooth. Centering is going to be off to the left ever so slightly. Now, other than a little brass being brass, a little bit of patina, this knife is fairly pristine, guys. You can see even with the bit of tarnish, that brass is unmolested. Very, very nice example. And guys, these 440C 110s from 30 or 40 years ago are getting harder and harder to find. We ran this last week at 140 and then dropped it to 125 on Saturday. And it does come with the sheath, not period correct, not the original sheath to the knife. This is probably an early 2000s Buck sheath. Let's see. This week we're going to drop this thing all the way down to $100. $100 shipped priority mail $120 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge. That's the Buck 110, 1974 to 80. Next up, I'm rather shocked this knife didn't sell. This from Masserin, cutlery in Maniago since 1960. I think that's what that says in Italian. So about 50 years of making knives in Maniago from Masserin. And inside the sleeve you got a box, and inside the box you got some stuff. There's even a wrench for the changing the pocket clip over to the other side. The model we have here, if I never get this box back together, is the Nimrod. I know that causes us Americans to chuckle. Nimrod. In Europe, it has another meaning. Is it a town somewhere? I don't know. Anyway, so pretty cool knife, guys. A large knife, but kind of a skinny, slicey knife at the same time. So let's see. What do we know about this? M390 blade steel. 3 5/8 inches of stone-washed, skinny, slicey blade. 5 inches a handle, and Masserin calls this Desert Canvas Micarta. Got a deep carry tip-up pocket clip, and it will reverse left or right. And this is running that sort of Maniago lock. The lockbacks coming out of Italy are so cool. They're just super smooth. This has got some firm tension on the lock bar. Solid lockup. Nice free action. Centering on this one is close. I think it might favor the right side ever so slightly as you're looking at it. It is like new in the box. These knives are available new online for $175 at your favorite retailer. We ran it last week for $140, didn't sell it, dropped it to $120 on Sunday, I guess. Still here, somebody gets it for $100. That's a deal on this knife. $120 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That is the Masserin Nimrod. Okay, that does it for leftovers, guys. Time to get to the how about the truth part of the sale. We are going to read, as we did last week, through Steve's introductory copy for his 10 knives this week. And as he says, please read at beginning of this knife sale. The first 10 years of GEC production from June of 2007 through 2016 were the most exciting times for traditional folders. Bill brought patterns back that hadn't been seen in over 50 years, with some not seen in over 100 years. Always in limited quantities in 4 to 6 different handle choices. No two runs alike. This 10-year time period is the era of the Titusville Iron Works Tang Stamp, or TIW. The prices of these knives are skyrocketing. Then in 2017, something changed in a major way. Bill ceased using his now legendary Tang Stamp and used a new Tang Stamp, Carbon, or CAR, on the smaller knives. Far fewer patterns made each year, with only 2 handle choices or so, with huge runs and easy to find knives. The Titusville Ironworks knives were made with those World War I era Nicholson blade grinders and old double header machine. These knives will never be made again. With more hands-on experience, skill, effort, these knives have soul, exactly like those made in the 1920s and 30s. These are the legacy years. And those are the knives we got for you tonight, my friends. Let me turn up the light. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. The first one of Steve's collection tonight is that guy with that tube. And I'm going to read you what he says. The number 153215 with end caps. Sheep's foot main, and spear, steel liners, and orange camel bone. An SFO for Derek Bone of Knives Ship Free. The Titty number 15 Huckleberry Boys Knife in all its forms is the most produced knife in GEC history and made during several years. However, aside from a 2016 run with a sheep's foot and crown lifter, this 2015 run is the only run to have the sheepfoot main and pen blade. These sheep's foot versions are the most sought after. Plus, this SFO for Derek in orange camel and burnt orange camel are the rarest boys' knives ever made, regardless of blade type. Summary: rarest of all boys' knives and with the most sought after sheep's foot blade. 50 pieces were made in orange camel bone and 48 in burnt orange. And what we have is the orange camel bone. So let's take a look at it. It is a number 15 boys knife. Titty Huckleberry boys knife, all steel construction. Bolsters, end caps, and liners, all steel. There is your camel bone. Some pretty nice figuring on that side. Main blade, sheep's foot, satin no etch, long pull, all the way back to the plunge. Cut swedge. Slight, just ever so slight staining right below the swedge, just from time. Let's see, we're calling that a 7 pull. Perfect walk and talk. Both blades beautifully centered. Never used, never carried. Like new in tube, slight staining noted. Okay. Your price for this one, guys, it's not coming cheap. There are 50 of them ever made. This one, just like it left the factory. Your price $300, and then $325 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's in your inventory as GEC number 15 Huckleberry Boys Knife. Next up, I think I teased you with this one yesterday in my heads up video. There's that, and there's that, and I'm going to read you Steve's card. This is the number 48 Northfield Slim Trapper. Bill Howard named the 48 with this blade set the Buckeye Trapper. Of all scheduled runs for any year, this one in Faux Tortoise acrylic is the rarest ever made. Only 11 pieces. 11 pieces. Only the occasional orphan knives are rarer, but they weren't scheduled runs. Try to find this knife. Good luck. This 2014 Trapper, which is actually a 2015 Trapper, Steve, it's a 2015, has the sweetest walk and talk of any knife ever made by anyone, seriously. Okay, that might be hyperbole. I'll let you know what I think. The spay blade, due to its weight, gives the most pleasing sound and feel when closing. Absolute precision on both blades. Okay, so there's your tube cap. And here's your knife. Your standard 48 pattern, which I think is one of the best looking knife handles ever made. Double line bolster, plain end cap. Now your main blade is on the far side, and that is that clip point blade. Look at that. Long pull, cut swedge, old Northfield etch. The secondary blade in the front, and look at that spay, guys. Is that not one sexy spay blade? Oh. Cloud shield, tortoise shell acrylic. All right, I want you to listen. There's your half stop. Oh. Oh. Okay, centering is perfect on both tools. Walk and talk is perfect. I'm going to call the pull weight 6.5. Condition, never used, never carried. a pristine 6-year-old knife, 7-year-old knife. Your price on this one? One of 11. And guys, you don't see this blade set with the secondary blade on the front. Most 48s have the secondary blade on the back side of the main. Anyway, your price, guys, $300 like it is. $330 I sharpen both blades. That is in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 48 Slim Trapper. Next up. Ooh, we have a theme going, don't we? It's a Northfield. It has tortoise shell and a cloud shield. This is the GEC Northfield number 54 Big Jack with Faux Tortoise. It is the second rarest Big Jack ever made for any year, only 26 pieces. The rarest was an 11-piece Big Jack in 2008. The Big Jack was only made in 08, 14, and 17. This, of course, is a 14. This tortoise Big Jack and its sisters, made in 2014, are the only ones with slanted bolsters. All others were straight. The main blade is the clip point. I'll show you what I'm talking about. When the main clip is deployed, this knife is very ergonomic. Quality is outstanding. So our model number is 541214BJ. See how the main blade, while both face front, main blade is behind the secondary, and there's your clip point. And what Steve means is when you're using the clip point, the secondary blade really does not affect your grip. It doesn't cause any hot spots. It's just beautiful. And look at that gorgeous clip. Very 90-70. Very 40-40. Long pull, cut swedged, a little bit of recurve. Pull weight on this Big Jack, I'm going to call it a 7.5 to 8. Walk and talk are beautiful. And then there's your secondary spear. All awesome. Lined and pinched slanted bolsters. Never used, never carried. Your price on this one, guys, is going to be $250, $250, $280. I sharpen both blades. Next day sharpening is available if you're one of the first 3 tonight. About 3 weeks if you're not. Next up, this is not the Rob's Pick knife, but this is the Save Me From Myself knife. I didn't think it was quite special enough to make it the Rob's Pick tonight, but it sure is a pretty little thing. Here it is. This is the number 66821466 Calf Roper Slim in red saw cut bone. One of 49 pieces. Yeah. Rust red saw cut bone. Does not that look stunning with that sort of fancy titty shield? Yep. Plain nickel silver bolsters, brass liners, one spring running both blades of that opposite end. Dogleg jack. Cam tang knife. Great snap on both blades. Pull weight's about a 6, 6.5. Perfect walk and talk and centering. There is zero rub. Well, there's a line there, but that's not a rub line. Nicely done. And one of the finest cam tang actions I've ever seen from GEC. This is going to be like new in the tube, never used, never carried. Your price, $135 like it is, $160. I sharpened both blades. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first 3. That's the GEC Titty number 66 calf roper Jack, I wrote in parentheses, to distinguish it from the later run of Stockman. Next up, What we have here, my friends, is a GEC Titty number 92 Talon, model 920114BE for bare end, in lava acrylic, one of the best examples of this handle material. Both covers show the red streamers are very consistent across these handles, Steve says. Look at the chatoyance in that handle, how it changes in the light. Oh. One of 53 pieces is this one. Let's take a closer look if I can quit knocking stuff over. All right, here we go. You got your old Titty hot dog shield, bare end, plain nickel silver bolsters, brass liners, single Warncliffe blade, and there is a flea bite, a pit right there. I just about stuck myself. Why can't I get this to show up? There, below the nail neck. So it's a remnant of a pit. I think I got all the corrosion out of there. Full disclosure, I did resatin that side of the blade. Steve had tried to do a little polish job on that flea bite. Had a little shiny spot, so I got rid of that. And you'd have to be a pretty highly trained eye to tell the difference from that side, which is factory, to that side that I redid. Okay. Pull weight is a solid 7. Walk and talk are perfection, as most 92 Talons are. Centering is extremely close to dead perfect. Condition is going to be near mint in tube, pit and resatin noted. Your price on this one, $210 like it is, $225 with an Apostle P edge. That's the GEC Titty number 92 Talon. Next up, oh my. We usually think, don't we, of the number 83 Tascosa as kind of a garden variety GEC. I think we do. Not this one, guys. This is the number 831115LB. So that is a single clip point made in 2015, lockback 83 Tascosa, smooth yellow rose bone. This is the yellow rose Tascosa. It comes with a hat pin. Steve says, this is the debut run for this pattern, but only the Titty versions get the PPP etch, so you'll not see it on this knife. It's 3 3/8 inches long closed. This is the clip point version. This particular knife took the yellow dye better than most. Nice and dark with character. Only made in 2015 and 2021. Yellow rose only made once in 2015. Rock solid lockup, no play up or down, and the coolest tube label in GEC history, in Steve's opinion. This is one of the rarest GEC knives ever made, regardless of the pattern or year. It has a satin blade. Only, 4 pieces were made like this. 4. Try to find one. Good luck. By the way, 82 were made with polished blades. So let's take a look, shall we? And he's right about this bone. That is luscious. Bare end, of course. Triple lined nickel silver bolster. Yellow rose shield. Oh my. Yellow rose etch. Long pull and a cut swedge. A beautiful snick at lockup, and he's right. 0 blade play. Just lovely. I mean lovely. 1 of 4. 1 of 4. And guys, not only is it 1 of 4, but that's the most beautiful yellow rose smooth bone I have seen. Man, is that gorgeous. Oh, anyway. Whew. Like new in tube with button. Unobtainium. You can't find them traded. There's only 4 of them. I don't know where the other 3 are, but they're not for sale and haven't been anytime in the recent past. Your price on this one's going to be $325 like it is. $340 for me to sharpen it. Next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 3 tonight. That is the GEC Northfield number 83 Yellow Rose Tascosa. All right, guys, next up we are going to finish the How About the Truth segment of tonight's sale with 4 2015 edition number 77 Yankee Barlows. And we'll read Steve's index card for these because it's interesting. It's the 771115 and 31115. Northfield Barlows. SFO for Mike Latham. This was the debut of the 77 Barlow, except for the improved Trapper blade set, which was 2014. No PPP etch due to them being Northfield knives. All have hat pins. They are not steel liners. They are nickel silver liners. Steve is incorrect. There have been many styles of the clip blades over the years, with various nail nicks and swedges. This blade shape, including the long pull at the base of the blade all the way back to the plunge grain. This swedge is the old world style, how it wraps around the clip. The very first clip point made for any folder had this swedge. Hasn't been made in 100 years. What? In 100 years? Back to Civil War? Seriously. The only year made for the 77. So that this clip point blade with this swedge is only made in 2015. So the old tan saw cut, 109 pieces, old red 79, African blackwood 57 pieces. Okay. And now let's get to the knives. First, we got this one. This is a clip point 2015 77 in African blackwood, model 771115. Turn up my light just a little. Unlike the saw cut, the wooden handled knives have rounded ends to keep from chipping. Nickel silver long bolsters, nickel silver liners, steel back spring, of course. Pull weight, every bit of an 8. Gator snap, perfect walk and talk. Centering on this one is perfect. Let's take a look at the blade. Other than my grubby fingerprints, pretty doggone nice. Notice how the long pull goes all the way back to the plunge grind and the swedge wraps around the peak of the clip. This is going to be like new in tube with button. It's in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 77 Yankee Barlow ABW for African blackwood. Your price $425 like it is, $445 for me to sharpen it. Next day sharpening available if you're one of the first 3. Next up, same run, same year, same materials, but this is going to be a saw cut bone cover and a sheep's foot blade, model 773115 in old red saw cut bone. You get the button. Here is the knife. Nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver liners. Beautiful old red saw cut bone. Single sheep's foot blade. Long pull, cut swedge. Pull weight on this one, About an 8. Walk and talk perfect. Centering perfect. Just a beautiful example. Never carried, never used. Now, I don't know if I can make the camera pick this up, but at some point when this knife was getting wiped down and put to bed, there is the finest of fine hairline scratches that runs for most of the length of the blade right down the middle. And if the light's not picking it up, it's not the light's fault. It's that fine. There you can just barely catch it. Super fine hairline, not a big deal. Other than that, so that's going to make me call it near mint, but it's really like new, except for that. That knife could have happened when they were wiping it down at the factory. That scratch could have happened when they were wiping it down at the factory. Your price on this one, $415, like it is, $435 with an TheApostleP edge. That's in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 77 Yankee Barlow Red SC for saw cut, and then SF for sheep's foot. Next up, this is going to look familiar. So it's another 2015 number 77 Yankee Barlow. This is 771115. That means it's a clip point in old red saw cut bone. So same as the knife you were just looking at. Old red saw cut bone, nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver liners. This one though with a clip point blade. Again, a strong 8 pull. The wraparound swedge. The long pull no match striker all the way back to the plunge grind. Ground on the Nicholson grinders and the double header machine. Again, 8 pull. Perfect walk and talk. Perfect centering, never carried, never used, like new, in tube with button. Your price on this one, $440, like it is, $440, and then $460 if you'd like it with an TheApostleP edge. That's in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 77 Yankee Barlow Red SC clip. Next up, wow guys, we're at the end. We're at the end of the How About the Truth run. We have a Northfield number 77 Yankee Barlow with tube with button. This one in old tan saw cut bone. I love that. I love that. I think I've got a, man, what was it, a 2017 with the new style clip point in this same cover. I just love it. So old tan saw cut bone, square end, nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver liners, and again that luscious clip point blade with the wraparound swedge, the long pull no match striker, satin no etch, Mike Latham SFO, he never etches them. Pull on this one, this might be a 7.5, a little lighter than the rest. And this one, guys, is the Rob's Pick knife for this week. This is Rob's pick this week. That means early birds did not see this one. If you missed it, it's just because you're late. Like new in tube with button, walk and talk are perfect centering. I'm going to call close. It might favor the right ever so slightly. Yeah, your price on this one, $440 like it is, $460 with an TheApostleP edge. They'll never make them like this again. No CNC grinder ever touched that blade. And one of, how many did I say? How many did we say? Old tan, 109 pieces. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of sad we're through that. But anyway, let's soldier on, shall we? Let's get to some modern folders. First up, from Spyderco, we got us a military. The plain old black S30V military, except this one is rocking a black coated titanium deep carry clip. There's your lock engagement, just right where you want to see it for a milli. That is rock solid. And watch this. Swing. Perfect action, perfect lockup. And let's see how's the centering on that big long sucker. Well, I think it's right down the middle. It is. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't notice as it flew by, that has a fairly newly applied edge from the TheApostleP Knife Service. Yes, it does. Let's see. I don't detect any wear or any chips, so we're not offering a sharpening price on this bad boy. That's a beauty, guys. Other than a little evidence of pocket carry in the black G10, that knife is about like new, but we're going to call it excellent to near mint. No box on this one. Your price, $130, already rocking the TheApostleP edge. It's in your inventory as Spyderco Military TAP, which stands for the Apostle P. That means it's got my edge. Next up, oh my, if I were right-handed. If only I were right-handed. From Benchmade, we got us the legendary 2551 Mini Reflex button lock automatic. Got the spine-mounted safety. There's your button lock or release. Hard anodized black aluminum handle. Now this has got a little bite on it. It looks like it got dropped or something and caught the corner of the handle and then the edge of the pocket clip. Okay, so I know what I'd do. I'd use one of them Presto gun blue pens. That'll make that aluminum black instantly. I'd just put a new parkerized clip on. Anyway, look at this though. Oh, thwackage. The drop point blade, 154 cm. Bead blasted blade, which you don't see very often from Benchmade. Soldier knife, non-reflective. Blade length is 3 1/8, handle 4 3/16. The best small knife in hand ever, right there. I mean, ever. Oh, it's luscious. Very, very slight play. You could play with the pivot, I'm sure. Very slight. Zero up and down. Just very slight side play. Man, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for that little nick, I'd call it near mint, but I'm going to call it excellent. No box. These are discontinued and out of stock. By the way, that edge is pristine. Discontinued and out of stock. Your price on this one, $140 like it is, $160 with an TheApostleP edge. That's the Benchmade 2551 Mini Reflex. Next up, from my brother Timmy over in Asia doing his missionary work. This knife is going to come with no box because he doesn't ship boxes across the pond. It takes up too much space and shipping is expensive. So what we got here is a large Sebenza 21 with the front black carbon fiber inlay. This does not have the black lanyard and king bead. This has got the blue and silver lanyard and the silver bead, not installed in the knife. So all you're going to get is the knife, the loose lanyard, the cloth, which he marked on Timmy. Anywho. But wait till you see the knife. It ain't no dog, my friends. And have you tried to find one of these lately? Okay, so here's your carbon fiber scale. There is your perfectly centered cursory blade. There is your titanium frame side. Just a little bit of evidence that it's been in the pocket. A little burnishing on the corners of the clip. Maybe a slight snail trail here or there, but very little. And, oh my. Yes. That's been to the TheApostleP Knife Service, my friends. I sharpened this for Timmy. I think I bought it for him new and shipped it to him. He used it a little. I gave my edge a little touch up on a ultra fine Spyderco ceramic bent stone and a quick strop. So it doesn't really need any work. It's fine. Lockup's rock solid. There's your engagement. About 70%, sort of normal Sebenza 21. No stick. To die for action. We'll call it near mint, no box. By the way, this one was born on... It was born on February 24th, 2016. It does have the new hardness spec, S35VN, 59 to 60. Of course, they're discontinuing out of stock. I looked at sold listings on eBay for this carbon fiber model. Sold transactions between $580 and $675. Your price for this one, $5 1/4. No need to sharpen. The Chris Reeve Large Sebenza 21 CF. Next up, from Spyderco, again from Timmy in Asia, we got no box, but we do have a Bento box, Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in blue G10 handle with M390 blade. This is the Bento box edition. It has been in Timmy's pocket. There are a couple of smudges above the bug on the polished clip. Wouldn't be no big deal to get rid of those. And this one I also sharpened for him when it was new. Yeah, he's tried to touch it up. So it's got my edge on it, but it's my used edge, okay? So I'm going to offer you an edge sharpened price. Perfect lockup, perfect action. Centering is almost dead. It might favor the right side just slightly. So we'll call it excellent to near mint. No box. These are out of stock currently at Bento box. They were $217 when they were in stock. I looked at some current listings. There are no sold listings for this knife on eBay. Only current ones listed for buy it now is between $300 and $335. That sounded like a lot to me. Your price for this one, guys, $220, like it is, $220, $245. I resharpen. That's the Spyderco Para 2 Blue M390, and next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 6. Next up, from Benchmade, another one from Brother Timmy. No box for this one. This is the Benchmade 537GY-1 bailout. The OD green hard anodized diamond milled aluminum handle. Parkerized shorty clip. Looks like a black aluminum backspacer with a carbide glass breaker. Axis lock. Action's a little on the gummy side, but still plenty free. Lockup is going to be rock solid. The centering is going to be off to the left on this knife. It's just off to the left. Now, this is another one that I sourced for Timmy and then sharpened it for him when it was new. Now, he's used it and maybe touched it up a little, but it's still sticky, sharp. Doesn't need my help, okay? Blade steel on this one, CPM M4 with a gorgeous speckly charcoal gray Cerakote. Man, I love that stuff. Got one little flea bite on the front of the handle. No biggie. So we'll say excellent to near mint. These are actually in stock brand new at your favorite web retailer for $221. Benchmade minimum advertised pricing. This one can be yours. With pretty nice to TheApostleP Edge for $150. No need to sharpen. The Benchmade 537GY-1 bailout. Next up, from Sniper freaking Blade Works. I sourced this knife brand new for Timmy some time ago. Did it come with more packaging than this? It seems like it had to. But it's the Sniper Blade Works LPC. And this is their Reload edition from 2020. Here is the knife. A beautiful 3D machine, almost Coke bottle-y G10 with a couple slanted kind of rat tail mills in it. Titanium frame lock knife, steel inserted. And unlike the old Snipers, check that out, my friends. It's on ball bearings. 3 5/8 inch blade, 5-inch handle. Kind of that gun stock down presenting blade. Just beautiful in the hand. I guess it'd be better if I was gripping it with the correct hand. Come back there. That looks like what, 3/16 inch stock. Now guys, these aren't slicers. These are hand ground, chunky, low saber. I sharpened this for Tim when it was new. And he's used it a little bit. It doesn't need resharpen. It's not a slicer. It's a wedge. I think I probably sharpened that at about 25 degrees per side, just to give you an idea how thick that is. Strong knife. So, there's your lockup. It's rock solid. Centering, I'm calling close and very close. Action, perfect. Near mint, no box. We paid brand new $325. I think I was like $331 after some postage or something. Blade HQ has this knife right now for $325. Your price on this one, $250 shipped, priority mail. No need to sharpen. That's the Sniper Blade Works LPC with my edge. A little bit of wear on it, but I wouldn't resharpen it. Next up, I had this in a pocket dump last week. I love this knife. This is not mine, but one just like it. From Benchmade, a black class knife, the 273FE-2 Mini Adamus. Oh, I love the knife. Oh, Parkerized deep carry clip. OD green. Satin G10. It's got holes. It's got mill slashes. It's got thick blackened liners. It's got the beefy Adamus hardware. And then it's got that. A tan Cerakoted blade and CPM crew wear. I dig that steel. Oh. 3 1/4 blade, 4 1/2 handle. Solid lockup. Pretty much free drop in action. And the centering gonna be perfect. Condition, near mint to like new in box. I could not really find anything to fault it for. These are available new at your favorite retailer for $212 plus tax, I'm sure. This one can be yours. Shipped priority mail, no sales tax, all in $180. $180 like it is $200 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Benchmade 273FE-2 Mini Adamus. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first three. Next up, from Kershaw, we've got a model 7007 CU, the chemical symbol for copper. We have a copper natrix. Because the handle is solid copper. It is indeed. We've got on-ball bearings with a flipper. That blade, it's a 770 blade, isn't it? It is D2. It is 3 1/4 inches long. The handle 4 5/16. Got a stainless steel subframe lock. There's your lock engagement. Lockup is rock solid. Centering is dead down the middle. Action is perfect. Now this one has been sharpened, and frankly, it's sharpened a little ugly. I'm not saying it's not sharp, because it is, but you can see we ran into a little trouble back here. On these knives, that sharpening choil needs to be enlarged to make them look right. Okay, hard to do unless you know how to do it. No big deal. And then he also, when sharpening, kind of got into the handle just a little, but the copper will patina over that. No big deal. But we'll call it excellent in box. You can buy these brand new at your favorite retailer for $87 plus tax and shipping, or just buy this one. Shipped priority mail, all in, double nickels, $55 like it is, $75 with my edge on it, and I will absolutely clean that up if you elect to do that. Next day sharpening is available if you're one of the first 6. That's in your inventory as the Kershaw 7007 CU copper natrix. Next up, the cheapest knife in the sale, and it's really cool. From Buck Knives, Edge of a Legend, we have the Slim Select Hunter. Look at that ridiculous model number. It's the Slim Select Hunter. So in the Select series, of the Slim Hunter, you get a 3 3/4 inch buck 110 blade in 420HC with a right smart stonewash, wouldn't you say? US made knife. I got thumb studs. I've got a lockback because it's a 110. I've got a deep carry reversible left or right shorty pocket clip. I've got rock solid lockup. I've got what? Very close to perfect centering. Tan glass reinforced nylon handle that looks super cool. I mean, that's a lot of knife. And guys, it weighs, it's like bug out weight. Sweet. I'm going to call it near mint in box. It's been user sharpened. It's not pretty, but it's sticky. You know, it's kind of a factory touch-up, user sharpening, and I could make it look prettier, but it's serviceable, okay? So we'll call it near mint in box. These things brand new at your favorite retailer are $28 plus tax and postage. This one can be yours shipped for $20. Priority mail. $40 if you'd like my edge on it. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first three. That's the Buck 110 Slim Select Hunter. Next up, from the Ontario Knife Company, Olean, New York, we have, what do we have? What do we got? What does it say? I don't know. I don't think we even need to tell you what it is. I think we all know what that is. And then if we flip open that D2 blade, it'll tell you that it is a Model 1. It's the Rat 1, the old Rat 1. Now it's the Ontario Model 1. We're not sure why. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, we're not made in Taiwan anymore. Oh, my. We've got some kind of a putty tan micarta, right? Stainless steel liner lock. Great engagement. Nice action. Rock solid. Centering is going to be off to the left just a little. Well, condition is going to be near mint in box. Again, it's been user touched up. In the micarta, this knife is now $50 online. This one can be yours for $35. Shipped priority mail. $55 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Ontario Rat 1. Next up, from We Knife, we have a 2002 OC-3 Sakshi in Quibursha wood with black titanium liners and a black stonewash 20 CV blade and a liner lock. This is cool, guys. Look at that Quibursha wood. Oh, it just screams pocket knife, doesn't it? Oh. Deep carry clip can be right hand only. Nice low profile flipper that really grabs the meat of your finger. Out she flies. Beautiful swedged drop point. Not swedged, but fullered. Full flat ground, thin behind the edge. Rock solid lockup. The titanium liner engagement is just about perfect. Centering is perfect. Let's see. Handle is 4 5/16. Blade is 3 5/16. It is like new in the box. When these were available, and they are no longer in this cover scale material, they were $162 at your favorite online retailer. This one can be yours, $140. $140 like it is. $165 with an ApostleP edge. That's the WE 2002 OC-3 Sakshi. Next up, we've got one from Petrified Fish. The model, this model name, guys, this is just it's gonna stir you. It's gonna make your blood flow more quickly. It's going to make your face flushed and your temperature rise when you hear the name of this knife. You ready? It's the Petrified Fish Outdoor Knife. Yeah. Makes you want to run out and buy one, an outdoor knife. So, we have a handle, 4 11/16 inches in length, OD green G10, blackened stainless steel liners, deep carry pocket clip, going to be right hand only. We got a flipper. We got ball bearings. We have a D2 blade, 3 11/16 inches in length, with a clip point profile that is suspiciously like the Gunny Sidekick. Just saying. There's your lock engagement. It's kind of perfect. It's rock solid. Smooth and free action. Blade centering hard to see because it's so much black in there, but it's perfect. Nothing to complain about, guys. It is like new in the box. You can buy these brand new. I could not find one in this handle, though. But if you could find one in this handle, it would probably run you about $37, $38 online, plus tax, plus postage. Or just buy this one, all in, shipped priority mail, $30, like it is, $50 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Petrified Fish Outdoor Knife. Next up, it is another Petrified Fish. This is their Beluga model, gray G10 handle. Sort of a black washed, deep carry pocket clip that is reversible left or right. It is a front flipper. Wah, wah. I guess it would flip well if I could flip a front flipper. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? Anyhow, blade steel is K110. Blade length is 3 5/8. You get a gorgeous bead blasted finish. An infinity fuller. Stainless steel liner lock. There is your engagement, fairly early, but still rock solid. 3 5/8 blade, 4 5/8 handle, gray G10, ball bearing front flipper, ambi deep carry clip, perfect action centering lockup. It's like new in the box. If you can find one in gray, it's probably going to be $47 at your favorite retailer, web pricing, plus tax, plus postage. Or just buy this one, like new in the box, and a perfect example for $40, like it is $60 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Petrified Fish Beluga. Next up, we have one from some Daniel Winkler guy. Winkler Knives 2. Been there and back. Inside the box, Dan says that there is a Winkler Knives 2 native with casual finish and sculpted walnut scales. Before I forget to show you, I'm going to show you. Not only are you going to get that stupendous lined Kydex sheath, you're going to get a bunch of hardware. You're going to get a molly attachment, and then you're going to get a steel spring clip that is mountable to that lined Kydex sheath. And I just didn't want to forget that. Sometimes I get excited and I forget stuff. Here is your inspection card for the native. Made 9/8/16. There's that work of art. Oh. It makes you want to crawl in there. It's so smooth and wonderful. I don't know what material. It's some kind of a felt. Man, is it? I mean, the knife goes home and it just stays, it sticks, it doesn't rattle, it comes out easily. It's awesome. So there's the native in blade steel 80 CRV2. So it's like a 1080 Crovan, European style, or something like that. 3 1/4 inches of blade, 3/16 thick. Very nice filework style jimping. Handle is 3 3/4. There is your sculpted walnut. Got a little tapered tang thing going on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to put it in your hand to get it. That's for sure. So, let's see. These are long out of stock. When they were available, if you got the sculpted walnut, they were $350. This one can be yours. And let's see what I say about this. That's got the factory edge still on it. I don't think it's ever been used. So it's going to be near mint to like new in box. Your price $295, $295 like it is, $320 with my edge. I know it's a short blade and it's not a hard steel, but these are kind of thick and I like to take a little extra time with them. So $25 to sharpen. $295 like it is, $320 sharpened. Next day sharpening available if it's one of the first three. That's the Winkler Knives 2 Native. Next up, we got another one from Mr. Winkler. This is not a 2, right? This is a Winkler Knives SD1. SD1. So this is going to come in that, again, Winkler Awesome lined Kydex sheath. This one with, what is that, a little G-clip? But that's a steel one, not plastic. Comes out nicely. Oh, it's so nice in there. Look at that, guys. The SD1. Sweet. Oh, again, sculpted walnut casual finish. 80 CRV2 steel, 3 1/4 inch blade, 3 3/4 inch handle. Oh. Now this one has been user sharpened and pretty nicely. It's not perfect. You get a little no clean up at the end, but I could finish that for you. So I'm going to call it very near mint in box. These are actually in stock several places. If you get the, I couldn't find sculpted walnut, but plain walnut is $295. I think at Monkey Edge. I think the sculpted might cost a little more, but anyway. This one can be yours for $250, like it is, $250. And then $270 if you like it with my edge on it. That's the Winkler Knives SD1. And that, my friends, brings us to the last knife in the sale. I told you I was going to put one of my own in here this week, and here it is. This is the Spyderco Stretch in British Racing Green FRN with the ZDP 189 blade steel and an edge by TheApostleP Knife Service. This is a knife I plucked out of a sale early and kept just to use. And frankly, I love the looks of the Stretch, but I'd rather just use an Endura. I don't know what that is, what that means. But anyway, you got that gorgeous ZDP blade with a scary sharp ApostleP edge. The only wear on the knife is on the very corners of the clip. It's sort of like that when I got it. Lockup is rock solid. Action's pretty good. Centering is, holy cow, it's perfectly centered. And FRN Spyderco, centering's perfect. Son of a gun. So I think these are like $154 online. I think I found them in stock somewhere. But you can have this one with my edge on it for $100. Shipped priority mail, $100. That is the Spyderco Stretch BRG ZDP TAP. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another knife sale on the ApostleP channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Let the feeding frenzy begin.